So today, everyone, I'm going to be talking about something very close to my heart, and that is NaNoWriMo. If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it is National Novel Writing Month. National Novel Writing Month happens every year in November. Basically, tons of thousands of people all around the world get together to write books. The aim of NaNoWriMo is to write a 50,000 word novel or half a novel in a month. That means writing 1,667 words a day, every day for a month. Basically, it involves throwing all your perfectionism and standards to the wind and just writing for the sheer sake of writing, putting quantity over quality so that by the end of the month you have a 50,000 word novel that you can do something with, you can edit it, you can work on it, you have the words there. I love NaNoWriMo a lot. I think it is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing for many, many reasons, which I will talk about soon. I have done it 3 times before. I did it back in 2011, 2012 and 2013, so the 3 years while I was doing my undergrad degree. I did not do it last year because last year I was doing my creative writing MA and I figured that while doing that course that was probably a time where I should put quality over quantity rather than quantity over quality. So I didn't do it last year, but I missed it. I'm gonna do it again this year. It starts in 2 weeks, thereabouts. I am so excited, especially because over my MA, I finished the book I was writing on my MA. Like, I finished the first draft back in maybe May, July, June, some point then. I spent the last few months just editing and I haven't just sat down and like wrote, and I'm just so excited to do NaNoWriMo and just sit down and write 50,000 words. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So, today I just wanted to talk about the pros and cons of NaNoWriMo because there are some cons. I love it, I think it's a brilliant thing, but there are some downsides to NaNoWriMo, so I just wanted to address them today and talk about why I do think NaNoWriMo is a really brilliant, wonderful thing. One con of NaNoWriMo would be this. If you write 50,000 words in 1 month, those 50,000 words are not going to be as good as if you had written 50,000 words in 6 months. That is just a fact. They're not going to be as polished or as well thought out or as beautiful. But the good thing about NaNoWriMo is after November you then have 50,000 words to work with, which it might have taken you an awful lot longer to get to. And if you spend 1 month writing 50,000 words and then 5 months editing and polishing and perfecting those 50,000 words, they might actually be better than if you just spent 6 months writing 50,000 words, because you have so much more time for editing. And if you're someone that tends to give up on stories halfway through, or you start writing something, you're really enjoying it, and then it kind of slips away from you, NaNoWriMo is really good for giving you that structure and making sure you get to the end of 50,000 words. So even if at the end of November you end up with 50,000 mediocre words, that's probably better, and you can do more with that than writing 10,000 really amazing words over like a year. Another con, before I get on to all the many reasons why it is brilliant, NaNoWriMo can limit your ability to write carefully. I am a rushed writer. I write in a hurry. As I spoke about in my Let's Talk About Writing video, which I did a while ago with my friend Sana from my creative writing MA, I write super hurriedly all the time. I write like I'm doing NaNoWriMo all year round. That's not to say I write 50,000 words every month. I definitely don't. No, that would be cool. But I have lost the ability to write carefully. I don't know if I've ever had it. I don't know if I could ever sit down and write 500 beautiful, amazing words in 3 hours, or if I've always been the kind of person that just writes really hurriedly and then edits it and sorts it out later. I have a feeling I've always been that kind of person, but I think NaNoWriMo has made me worse. All year round when I write, I have a tendency to use too many words, and I have a tendency to write quickly and hurriedly and have to go and sort it out later. But I don't think that's a problem. Actually, I think that's fine. Again, as me and Sana said in the Let's Talk About Writing video I did, everybody writes differently, and the fact that my style is both suited to NaNoWriMo and has been like emphasised by doing NaNoWriMo as I have 3 times is not that bad, because even though I end up being a little bit rambly in my writing, I have learned a lot of editing because I've done lots of editing on my NaNoWriMo stuff before, and getting into the habit of knowing that something is alright and that you can sort it out later can be really useful. Also, being able to write really fast is a really useful skill, I think, and one that NaNoWriMo really helps you with, not only in terms of like writing a first draft of a book and getting all your ideas out, but even in like everyday life, like at work, if you have to write reports or emails or any kind of thing. Being able to think really fast about words going through your head and being able to type them really quickly is a very useful skill in life, not just in writing. Also, NaNoWriMo is quite helpful in terms of planning, because if you are to write 50,000 words in a month, I think you need to plan. Next week I'm going to do a video about like tips for completing NaNoWriMo, and I will talk more about planning then. But for me, doing NaNoWriMo, I have always had to have like a really detailed chapter by chapter plan so I know exactly what's going to happen. I know not everyone likes to plan their writing, but I found it really helpful in NaNoWriMo, and I found that doing NaNoWriMo has improved my planning skills in terms of writing. Next, NaNoWriMo gives you discipline, and discipline, I think, is very, very important for writing. When I was 14, I decided that I was going to write every day. I get up an hour earlier than I need to and I write. And I do that during NaNoWriMo, and I do that the rest of the year round because I know that if I don't write every day, I will get out of the habit of it and I won't practice. So even if I like have no thoughts in my brain to write, then I edit. So I like work on my writing every day. And for me, that is the thing that has kept me writing, and I think has hopefully made me improve, I hope. So NaNoWriMo is really good at giving you that kind of discipline, because basically if you want to complete NaNoWriMo you have to write every day, and the way that you get better at writing is by writing. So NaNoWriMo is good for that, even if the writing is not always perfect. It makes you write a lot, and if you want to be a writer and you love writing, that's got to be a good thing. Also, another good thing about NaNoWriMo is it forces you to get rid of your inner perfectionist and your inner critique. Obviously you want to bring that inner critique back in the editing stages, but sometimes it's really useful to just get rid of that perfectionist within you, because I find at least like if you're writing something and you don't like it, it's really hard to continue, and you can get stuck for ages on one sentence or one paragraph or one bit that you're not really happy with. Whereas NaNoWriMo, when you're doing it, you can't do that. You can't stop if something's not working. You just have to continue, and then you can sort it out later, which really helps you actually get there rather than just spending like months and months on like one chapter. Doing NaNoWriMo really forces you to forget your inner perfectionist and just be able to write. The point of NaNoWriMo is not to write an incredibly beautiful, polished book. The point of NaNoWriMo is to write 50,000 words and to get all your ideas out. Once you have your ideas out there and you have a first draft, then you can work on it later. The next really amazing thing about doing NaNoWriMo is that there is a really amazing, supportive community of people who do NaNoWriMo all over the world. There is the NaNoWriMo website, which has a lot of forums, which I will link down below, and on it you'll see there's a forum for different locations, so a lot of cities, a lot of places have their NaNoWriMo group, and there'll be people that kind of run it, so there are tons and tons of events going on, lots of meeting ups to write, lots of parties, sometimes all night lock-ins in places where you write all night. The 3 times I've done NaNoWriMo before, I did it alongside lots of other people in my university creative writing society. Now that I'm back in London and not at uni, I do not have that amazing group of writers around me, but I know that the NaNoWriMo London group is quite active, and I'm really looking forward to meeting lots of people from there and going along to lots of their events. Again, like I said, I had my university creative writing society at Durham, and then while I was in Bath last year doing my MA, obviously I was surrounded by writers, and suddenly like there are less writers around me, and I miss the writers. I miss the writers. I need more writers in my life. Even if you don't actually like complete NaNoWriMo, participating in it in any way is a really good way to meet other writers and people who share your interests and passions, and that for me is a really big part of NaNoWriMo, which brings me on to the final reason why NaNoWriMo is brilliant. It's so fun. It's so fun. And if it's not fun, if you're doing NaNoWriMo and you're not enjoying it, then you should stop or you should lower your target, because it is supposed to be fun. Like, NaNoWriMo is not about writing a brilliant novel or writing as many words as you can. It is about having fun, talking to other writery people, and writing more than you normally would. If you would like to write more than normal in November, but you don't think you can write 50,000 words, then set your target at 20,000 words or 10,000 or 30,000, and just write more than normal. You don't have to get to 50,000 words to participate in NaNoWriMo. Obviously that is like the aim, but if you want to write less, or if you're not participating but you still want to go along to like other NaNoWriMo meetups and stuff in your area, then you should, because if you like writing, it's really, really fun to do it, to write more than normal, even if you're not writing the whole 50,000 words. Basically, I love NaNoWriMo. I think it's such a fun writing thing, and it's such a lovely community, and it's nice to know that there are lots of other people out there writing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't like for everyone that watches my videos, and it is quite writing specific and NaNoWriMo specific, but I hope you did. I know some of you write, but please let me know down in the comments if any of you are doing NaNoWriMo this year. I would love to speak to you. I'm going to do another video next week about tips for completing NaNoWriMo, and during the month of November I will be talking a lot about NaNoWriMo. I'm going to try and like vlog NaNoWriMo a bit. Don't know how it's going to go. I feel like that's just extra work for myself. I already have to write 50,000 words in a month, but I'm going to try and vlog some of my NaNoWriMo-ness stuff. So yes, hopefully you will enjoy that. I'll be back on Thursday with another video. In the meantime, happy reading and happy writing.